I just want to take a moment to reintroduce yourself to yourself. It's not that you don't know, but it always helps to be reminded. And I've been listening to Nisargadatta this morning, and that always helps remind me of truth in it's so funny, in its most elusive form, yet it's the only thing we can be sure of. So this body, this is not us. You are not this body. Or I should say, this body is not you. This body, well, and one could say that it's just and be true, that it's just an appearance, really. It's just an appearance within the world of appearances, where things come and go. And these bodies come and go. Everything you can see behind the Fred unit and all of that, that'll come and go. The books come and go, authors come and go, human beings come and go. God seemed to be better at coming than going, but you're not your thoughts. I know it feels like these are my thoughts, but that's a false reference. There's no my there. That's just a convenient imaginary character which feels so real and it feels so you. But the imaginary character, the one that feels like I'm glad I'm at satsang, or I wish Fred would go ahead with the regular meeting, or I hope he never stops talking, whatever. That's not who you are. Who you are has no preferences. This is not good and that is not bad. There is no this or that. There's just what we call this. But it has no opposite. So it can't be this or that. You're not the body. You're not the mind. You're not the trauma some of you are harboring. It's not your trauma. The body may have trauma. It may be buried within the body. I'm not saying that's not true. But I am saying that you're not the body. So even that which is captured it certainly counts. But it's not what's most important. You're not the feelings. You're not that which touches or is touched. You're not the thinker of the thoughts. There is no thinker of the thoughts. Thoughts arise. The thought that, well, I believe there's a thinker. That's a thought that you feel like you had, maybe. Or you said, I agree. That's a thought that you feel like you had, but it's not. It's just a thought that arose in response to what's being said here. You need not worry that that body will one day die. Within the play of relativity, it may look like it, but nothing dies. Nothing dies because nothing is born. You are the unborn. And whatever that is, we can't really say much more than that. Whatever the unborn is, we can't know as knowledge. It just can't be held as knowledge. It's because it's indescribable. someone who tells you they have been to the absolute and here's what it looked like. They have a story. And there's nothing wrong with that story because that's what it'll feel like. But it's just not true because there's no one to go and no one to have that story. The story is just arising. It doesn't really belong to anyone. We say, this is my story, but we're right back to the imaginary character. Imaginary character is fine. It allows us to have a relative experience, which is really joyful for you, even when it's not apparently joyful for the unit. It's joyful for you simply because it's experience. And experiencing is, I hate to use the word pleasant, but I don't know what else, what other word I'll use that one. But experience is also, this can be a sense of cruelty, a sense of wrong. Is he telling us that the bodies don't matter, so the people in Africa, it doesn't matter if they're starving? I'm not telling you that at all. We're not trying to jump past the so-called problems that exist within relativity. The body that you believe yourself to be, it exists within relativity. And if there's something that needs to be done, it will take care of it. But you need not dwell on that which you cannot control. And what you cannot control is everything. Let it be. Let it be. Leave it alone. Notice that it's already doing it. To say leave it alone is just try to break up the story that there's a thinker, that there's a doer, for God's sake. There's no doer, no thinker. And there's no thought that's true, feels true, looks true. We can say in relativity, that's true. From the absolute, there's no truth other than the absolute. We cannot see that, we cannot experience it per se, because that would be duality. There's not a we to experience the absolute and then come back and talk about it. It's only the absolute. It has no need to visit itself because it cannot not be here. And this is the manifest form of it, which is like a grain of sand in a barrel. The field of consciousness is like a grain of sand in a barrel. So we take all of our problems and we say and we can look and see which part of that grain of sand am I? Where's the most important part of this grain of sand? Because that's where I'll be. It's just a grain of sand. It's just something, it's almost nothing. But we can give it, because there's a light, there's a pinpoint in consciousness. If you are suffering, it's because you have forgotten everything that I've just told you. Most of you have seen this very clearly. And you know it's true. But it's so easy to fall back into the dream that I am a body and I'm a personality. I'm a Fred and this is the Fred unit. I will forever refer to it as the Fred unit because it's so convenient. But the deepest truth of all is that there's nothing happening. We're speaking of the absolute here. It doesn't negate relativity in any way or shape or form. Relativity is important. It doesn't matter, but it's still important. And the way that we act within relativity, so to speak, that's important too. Being kind, being loving, sharing what we have, helping others. All of this is important. But within the absolute, there's no such thing. There's no hierarchy. So there's no important and some not important, not something sacred and something mundane. Just this, just you. And you can notice yourself most easily just noticing that sense of I am that you have right now. You're not looking for the I am. You're not unable to find the I am. You are the I am, which is why you can't find it. You can't find what you are already. But you are the I amness. I am is not a noun, it's a verb. If this amming feels like I amming, really it's just amming. Or we could say there's just I, but it's not really, I don't think it's as helpful as the idea of amming. Okay, thank you.